Hey folks, it's Suze from Sisforsucculents. So, to pluck or not to pluck? That is the question. Do you ever inspect your succulents and you see dry leaves and they irritate you because they're not completely dry? See this one here on this big red, it's just a little bit crispy on the tip. Well, for a succulent perfectionist like me, that irritates the hell out of me. I don't know about you, I just want to pull it off and, because it just distracts from its beauty. But I've learnt to resist to do it, and there's a reason why, and I'll go into that in a minute. So rather than remove the whole leaf, sometimes I just get the scissors and I snip off the dry bit. And you don't even really, notice it so much because the crispiness of it attracts your eye. It does to me, anyway. So there's a few succulents that really are renowned for doing that. Like they take forever to dry up and go away, usually because they're quite big leaves. So this Cante here is always doing it. We know that succulents lose their bottom leaves. That's just a natural thing in its life cycle, correct? Right. But the bigger the leaves, the longer they seem to take to F off, basically. Should I have said that? Perhaps not, sorry. So you can see here, I actually had snipped that with some scissors, but it's starting to dry up again because the tip part of it is gone. So I do that as my remedy. And behind it, here's another example of one that likes to do that, the alpine rose. You can see here and here, there's some dry leaves. They look very papery. These ones aren't so bad. You can pull these off. I mean, not so bad in the sense that it's already dried off, so it's time to remove it. This one is only half. It's very bright at the moment, so probably not the most ideal filming conditions. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is only half of it's a bit crispy, so I would just get the scissors and just trim it off. So I paused and I did it, and I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So now you don't even realize that that leaf has been snipped off because it's on the bottom. That crispy stuff is not there to distract your eye. Now, the reason I'm going to explain very shortly, I promise, doesn't always apply, and in this situation it probably doesn't. And really, it's very tedious what I'm suggesting, so if you don't like it, rip it off. I've just gotten into that habit of not doing that. So back over to the Cante. See, I trimmed it off a bit more and it looks a lot prettier. Another thing I did, I learnt this from my friend because she does it with her agaves when they get a little bit brown on the edges. This leaf here, I actually cut it on an angle to create that look of the point. So that's a little bit of a hack, isn't it? Succulent hack of the day. And then the alpine rose, let me try and get it from an angle where the sun's not, still very bright. Sorry about that. But I did the same with that, and I think it looks a lot better. Okay, now I'll explain why. Okay, at my little table under the pergola, and I took two pots out to show you something, and we kind of go into another area of leggy succulents. To me, these aren't so much that they're leggy succulents, because I think leggy succulents are when they elongate because they're stretching to grab the light, and that's where you get gaps in between the leaves. But this doesn't have gaps between the leaves, it's just grown and got some height on it. It has thrown some lovely pups. And I'm really fond of the Koreans and their style with pots and the way they grow succulents, and they tend to look very ornamental in their arrangements, and they also don't seem to mind succulents that have a high stem as long as the stem looks good. And this stem doesn't look so good because here it's kind of fat and this shape is distorted. It's not so bad along there, but it gets a bit funny there. So eventually I'll probably wait till spring and head chop that. However, what it speaks to, what it's saying is that these leaves here, because the trunk there is a little bit thinner, has been taken off prematurely. And why do we take them off prematurely? Because the edges are getting crispy and we don't like them. So it distorts the shape, and it is as simple as that. That's why I don't do it, and that's why it's not relevant for every succulent that you grow, because some of them you don't want them to be high. I think there's a bit of a trend with growing succulents that we like low profile succulents. We like to behead them and pop them back down and bring them down as low as we can. And I think in Australia it's not so much a trend to have high succulent like that, but they do it so well. It actually looks like bonsai. So let's have a look at this pot. It's a cute little pot, isn't it? I picked it up in Vietnam and I just love it. These actually look like pebbles, like top dressing, but they're not. They are those little Mendoza, I don't know how to pronounce it. So I've achieved that low profile, setting it down low in the pot there. And then I use this Victor cane that I had head chopped quite a while ago. You can see that's where the head was, and it threw off these two new heads. But what I liked about it, what I thought was really pretty, is that stem is a perfect example of it's consistent in its shape, its size, and so therefore, in my mind, I don't think it looks ugly at all. I think it looks quite pretty. And then when you're looking down in it, it's nice. So I'm just experimenting more with that look. I don't really actually have a lot of examples of successfully doing that, but I find it very interesting, different trends in different parts of the world, how we grow succulents and what we find attractive. So there you go, folks. That's why when it comes to leaves, I do my best to hold off removing it as long as I can, in case it grows into this sort of form and I want to do an ornamental style. Obviously, different succulents grow differently. Sedums grow very differently to echeverias and so forth. So I really want to stress this, that rule doesn't always apply to all succulents. So if you've got any thoughts on this, or you want to tell me how you do it, do you think this is overkill, what I'm talking about? Have I taught you something you didn't know? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So pop it in a comment. Alright people, have a good one, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.